Alrighty, welcome to another edition, a super edition of Superkickin It with Steven. Right here, we're called the After Dark edition because we are live right now about 10:40 p.m. here on the East Coast, Midwest time. So it's a late night over here, but we're gonna rock it out. Greg should be popping on any minute soon. I didn't want to leave you guys waiting. Set a couple other invites, and we'll see if other people can hop in when they can. We got the Royal Rumble to predict, about 5 matches to predict, and then we'll be back live Sunday, 11 a.m. to kind of recap the Royal Rumble, get caught up on NXT, get caught up on AEW, and just kind of get you out on your way with that. So this year's Royal Rumble, I think it's one of the more wide open ones. I think you look at the men's side, and there's a few names that are popping out at you, and it's probably going to come down to those few names. But the women's side, I have no clue. I mean, I I like that we haven't seen as much announced this year. I feel like years past, it's been 15, 20-ish people announced ahead of time. And, just kind of looking over things, we haven't seen many announcements right now. So that's probably a good thing, as it is, to kind of let the surprises play out. Maybe we get some females that weren't invited to Raw 30 to kind of show up. Maybe we get, some men that we haven't seen from in a while, and let them show up in the Royal Rumble. I will throw out the question, to Greg and whatnot about who is maybe a name that we haven't thought about yet that would be kind of cool to see. So um, hopefully he's going to join us here soon. And I think we got him. Look at him looking fancy dancy, all right there. There he is, the man himself, on a Friday night, not Thursday. And Greg is there.
Right.
So glad to have Greg on and looking dapper. Are you still stuck at the airport?
Hey, yeah, welcome to the Hot Mess Express. First of all, last night I get all confused. Think the show's last night, and
Yes.
Matt because my plane went sideways, and then
We won't discuss what happened on the plane.
yeah, trying to do a good deed tonight. My buddy got to the gate late to start his flight, and I jumped in to help
Good.
out until he showed up, and you know bolted out of the spot to get home, get posted up, ready to do the show, and I'm sitting on the employee bus waiting to go to the employee parking lot, and
Oh,
realize I don't have my phone because I put it down to open that flight that I
oh
helped out
no.
with. So talk
Oh,
about no good deed goes unpunished. So there's your example right there.
there
But
you go. So, well, glad you can make it. Glad you're back on. Like I said, we're on I guess I should have called it a pitch black night podcast. Eh? No.
okay,
Anyway, so yeah, how's that for a segue? Let's
nice.
just get right into this match, Greg. We've talked it up a few times. We're guessing cinematic, guessing it probably finishes in the ring. Which way are we going with this? I mean, it's pretty easy to call Bray Wyatt, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to find scenarios where LA Knight wins, but this is Bray's wheelhouse. So um, I really don't see any way that LA Knight wins. That's my guy, and I love it that he's in such a high profile match because it's going to get more eyeballs on him. It's going to get more people caring about him. And I am all for that because he's going to pivot into bigger roles. And, you know, the gimmick is in place as far as the old Eli Drake TNA
Yeah.
um, crossover. It's going to happen. The all the catchphrases are there except for one. He doesn't call everybody dummies yet, but I think it won't be long before that's happened. But everything is intact, and he is going to be big, and this is the perfect platform for him. And he's the perfect sparring partner on the mic for Bray because they're so opposite, but they're both cut amazing promos. But yeah, I agree with you. There's no way that LA Knight's going to win this match, but he's going to come out looking better for it just by being in it. So
He's already had a
there's
big
this is a
week.
win-win.
I mean, getting to be in the ring with Undertaker, at
Yep.
Raw 30, the badass version. Did not expect to see that. And then Bray gets his moment with Undertaker. I mean, I guess the only way you could go, Greg, is maybe they just end it and there's no real winner if you're going to do a cinematic match type deal. So maybe that kind of protects both guys. But because I guess if I was going to call it in the ring, you almost wonder if LA Knight would win just to kind of prove Bray Wyatt wrong. But I almost wonder if
Mhm.
it would be a full out movie match and maybe there is no winner per se, and that kind of protects them. But I'm going all for Bray on this one. So next
Yeah.
up, how about this one? This one I'm going back and forth because we haven't. I don't think we've seen full out evil Alexa yet, but just like your Eli or I started calling me Eli Drake. LA Knight is showing all the TNA stuff. Greg, Alexa's showing that other side of her. Um, And then, I'm seeing rumblings that maybe Becky Lynch gets a title back, but, I'm going to say, I'm going to call Bianca this time. But I wouldn't be surprised if Alexa gets it maybe before Mania or right at Mania, right? I mean, it just feels right, even if it's short reign, kind of give her that, feel back for what she might do, but um, might see some shenanigans in this match that keep maybe Bianca wins it by DQ type deal
Yeah.
and gives us another match for it. So I'll say Bianca wins, but I'm still thinking Alexa gets that title back or gets the title, sorry, at some point in the near future. How about yourself?
Yeah, I agree with that. I see Bianca by DQ because Evil Alexa is going to do something heinous and underhanded, and just like this match doesn't is irrelevant. She wants to you know get that evil side out and
Mhm.
get more people talking about her. Um, and so she finds a way to destroy Bianca again, like she did on that Raw a few weeks ago, where she left her bloodied and out for a couple weeks. Find another way to take her out again. That way, even though she lost, it wasn't because she got pinned,
Mhm.
and she got the better of Bianca again. So that's going to lead away to another match.
Does
So
Uncle Howdy show up in this match?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Mhm.
He has been showing up. He showed on the last episode when they went fighting into the audience, and
Mhm.
all of a sudden he was in one of the entrance ways.
Yep.
So I wouldn't doubt it. Maybe that's part of the
Maybe he causes the DQ
possible.
just to
Yeah,
show that he's in control, even though Alexa thinks she isn't. Maybe she might have to finally give in to that. So yeah, it goes. Looks like we're both calling for Bianca in that match. This one, it's all about what Sammy's going to do, right? I feel like
yep.
Sammy's going to have to be in the corner, and then is he gonna, he's going to have to help Roman win somehow? Probably. That's where it's going, especially after last or after Monday night, um, with the trial and giving him one kind of final chance, and Jimmy standing up for him and whatnot. Jay, giving his yes to it. So um, Roman wins somehow with the help of you know Sami Zayn, but we still think Sammy's gonna he's gonna have to cut this cord sooner rather than later. And then, like I
Hmm.
said, I know a lot of people are calling for Sammy to win the Royal Rumble, Greg, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I mean, it's just not there right now. There's Cody's the bigger fish. Seth Rollins is the bigger fish. Now you've got Brock Lesnar in the Rumble. I mean, there's plenty of other names. Like I said, I still think the story overall is Sammy and Kevin getting back together, and
Yeah.
that's a bigger story than Sammy winning the title. You know, it it would it be a good moment? Yeah, but is there a better moment to be had? And I think that is the reconciliation of Sammy and KO as a tag team, and maybe going for those titles and getting it. So Roman wins here somehow with the help of Sammy for now, and then we'll see what Elimination Chamber brings because that's the big thing, Greg. Where it's in Canada, Montreal, so you got to do something probably to Sammy then to really get the crowd for him. So,
Right.
yeah, what do you call in this match?
Yeah. Roman said this is the final test for Sammy. So
Mhm.
um, this is going to be some way that Sammy finds a way to help Roman win. And similar to War Games, where he stops the referee's hand from counting three, um, something along that magnitude, where it's clearly obvious that Kevin's about to get the win,
Yeah.
and Sammy finds some way to screw it up and turn the tide for Roman. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I wish I could call it the other way because, it would be better, in my opinion, if Roman goes into WrestleMania without the title, in his big match with The Rock.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. But I think that that's what's going to happen. Sammy's going to find a way to ruin it for Kevin again, maybe a little reluctantly, but
That's probably the
yeah,
big deal. Just like he
yeah,
kind of, was reluctant about the win. He wanted that win last week against Kevin Owens.
yeah.
And, the Usos came in to kind of spoil that. All right. Well, here we go. The big matches, Greg. Women's Royal Rumble. First off, any woman, surprises that, like, not necessarily, uh, main roster guy women, but names that we're not thinking about.
As far as winners or just
Just in
entrance?
general, in appearances. I think we've both kind of narrowed down our winners to a few names. So um, I don't think there's any surprises there yet. But we didn't get we didn't get really any love for the women on Monday night. But maybe this is a good chance to kind of make up for that and have some of those women that might not get featured. I mean, it feels like Medusa's going to make a appearance, Greg, because she's been on TV.
Yeah.
Raw 30. She was part of the NXT thing, so I think she's a big name to watch for. But what other women do you think could be out there?
I can see Lita in it. I can see
Okay,
Trish making the final four
yeah,
if she's in it. Um,
no Mickey this
no,
year.
no, Mickey. She's having her big moment over in TNA right now.
Yeah.
Um,
What about NXT? Because your girl, I don't know if you heard, Greg. Nikita's down for the count. ACL
oh
tear
no!
and MCL, I think, couple
Wow,
tears. So
horrible, horrible.
we can't mark her in. You think
Okay,
Roxanne or Cora?
Roxanne could make a cameo for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Possibly even Zoe. Now that Zoe's
Hmm.
main
It's kind of
protagonist
yeah.
is going to be on the shelf. There's not going to be anything for her to do.
Yeah.
So I can see her making her move up, and
No Bella
them just
twins
nope, no
from the
Bellas.
from
They're
the
too
look of
busy
that.
filming TV.
Yeah. Well, I think they were pretty disappointed by kind of getting the shaft on Monday night. It was pretty much until late last week that they were still invited, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. So yeah, I think they might. I wonder if they finally wanted to cut the cord there, Greg, until
Yeah,
otherwise. So um, yeah, I'm trying to think of other names. I mean, Tessa Blanchard. That's AJ,
yeah,
AJ Lee.
that could be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, aside from the old legends like Ivory and
yeah, because we saw
maybe
her
a Tori
before.
Wilson,
Yeah,
I don't think there's any big names on the horizon that we could see that would be fun. Um,
Sable.
that would be funny. I
I
would be
mean,
down for that.
with Brock in it, yeah,
With Brock, yeah.
they need the date night like Edge and Beth Phoenix had. What about Beth?
Beth could definitely be in there
Yeah.
just to go get Rhea.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, for sure. I could definitely see that.
And they've already announced maybe 10 competitors, so that leaves a lot of names out there, which is good. I've said in years past, I felt like like you said, I thought one year was like they announced 20 some people, so we only gave like 5 or 6 spots left. and it was just kind of like, well, that's that wasn't very much. It was kind of it's like, that doesn't leave much surprises. So, but who are you going to go with, Greg? You want to give us final two, final four, whatever you want to do, and then give us your winner.
Well, I can see a final four with Raquel.
Mhm.
If Trish is in it, Trish
Okay.
to represent the legends.
Yeah.
I think that we could see oh, good grief, her name was circling my brain, then it disappeared. I think we'll put Roxanne in the mix
Okay.
and Rhea,
Mm-hmm. I can
and
already tell
then
who you're going for.
and my winner I think is going to be Rhea,
Yeah.
just to she pay her off for the yeoman's work she's been doing with Judgment Day, with the change in Dominic Mysterio's character, and everything she's been up to for the last 6 to 8 months, which has been, even though she's barely said much at all, has been masterful work. So shout out to Rhea. After they dragged her out of the tag team doldrums and put her into Judgment Day, she's taken off, and her character's been fantastic. Her ring work's been fantastic, and so this be a great way to pay her off for all the crap she had to swim through with all the weird tag team pairings to what she's been doing with Judgment Day and helping making the show so much better most of the time without saying anything. So and now she's positioned strong again to where you can see her in the main event and people are going to be invested in it, like she did when she was coming out of NXT. So, no, I'll go ahead and give it to Rhea.
I think I'm going to call Becky and Bayley in the final four, and I think they just kind of take out each other. I think I like Roxanne there and Raquel. I'm going to Raquel. I think Raquel Rodriguez it always seems like
Okay.
that. Once like Rhea Ripley's been in the final four, I think every year for the maybe at least the past 2 or 3 years. So Rhea won't surprise me at all to win. But for some, I'm still high on Raquel, and especially now Charlotte just winning. Greg, that gives me pause. Because Raquel would go for her SmackDown title.
Mm-hmm.
So would she win him right away? Maybe not, but still giving her the Rumble win. Maybe high number of eliminations. What about Ronda and Shayna? Do we see them in it?
No, they make the final
8?
6 to 8,
Yeah.
yeah, before they get eliminated. So,
Because I
yeah,
hadn't
they
thought
do the
about
tag
Ronda.
team thing, and
Yeah.
but I think Raquel gets payback on Ronda by eliminating her,
Yeah.
and then somebody random throws out Shayna right behind her. So,
Yeah. All right, so we are split on that one. And what about the men's? A couple names I've thrown. I think, man, I really want to see Nick Aldis, Greg, the national treasure, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be Jay White because he's got the match in February coming up against Eddie Kingston at the Battle in the Desert, or what, a Battle in the Valley, where Mercedes and Kyrie are going at it, Greg. So I don't think
okay,
we're going to see Jay White. I'm trying to think, I feel like somebody like Kennedy, just for S's and G's, as they say. We
right?
haven't seen him on TV in a while. Him getting in there for a minute, Greg, and getting thrown out probably a couple minutes late. I mean, I always think of those like Chris Masters has been vying for a match with Lashley. That's a name, but you got to think Brock and Lashley will probably eliminate each other with them both in it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think I'm just trying to think of other names. Some of those names. Tatanka. I mean, he couldn't make Raw 30. Maybe he could make a quick cameo. I mean, why not? So, I do wonder if we'll see Edge. But I don't. I guess there's not a lot of names floating out there. Like usually, I mean, heck, MVP's name was floated out there a lot, Greg, in years past. So Carlito's always, that name always comes up.
Yep.
What about John Morrison? Do we think he might, comes back for a Mania payday? Comes back for a
Could
short
be.
time?
What's Andrade doing? I mean, we haven't
Yeah.
seen him on TV
And
in a
I would
while.
think
And
he's done because he did
let's,
post by on, kind of right after a match with AEW. So him
so
showing up probably is a thing.
that could
Um,
be a thing. I think now,
got some
not that
other
I
names.
think he's going to be in it, but I'm putting it out there just into the universe because I really want it to happen.
Mhm.
But I'm already putting this on the 0 to
Negative.
0.25 chance of happening. Right. It is so not going to happen, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. That
Don't say his
Velveteen
name.
Dream
Oh,
makes it.
Velveteen. Okay.
I love that dude. If he can get his head right and do what he was doing when he was the hottest thing in NXT,
Yeah.
he would kill it on the main roster. And I hate it because he's such a knucklehead and he keeps running afoul of the law. And all the stuff he did a few years ago, um, we've had enough separation from that people won't think of it first thing when we look at him. But now he's going and getting arrested at gyms and stuff like that. But you know wrestlers get in trouble at gyms all the time, so it's not such a huge issue. But I really want to see him on the main roster, and new Triple H loves him by the way he really
Pushing
built
it.
him up in NXT and pushed him. So I'm putting it out there. I would pop so hard
What
to
about
see Velveteen
EC3?
Dream.
That was the name that just popped in my brain. EC3.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
We haven't heard much about him.
he came through with the whole gimmick the first time, and it went nowhere. So I
Right.
don't know what they would do differently, to
That's the
tell you
only
the truth.
thing. You know, with Triple H behind it, maybe that could help push
True.
things. Let him have kind of like LA Knight have control of his character too.
Right.
I don't know, but he's pretty friendly with Braun. Because when they were doing that control your narrative, Braun was one of the first names for that. So,
Yeah.
um, I don't. I'm thinking my final four. I know Cody and Seth are in it, Greg. For me,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else. Well, I'm going with Seth winning. I'll just say that right now.
Okay.
There's something there. I know. I feel like with the Cody stuff, they're throwing it so in our face.
Yeah.
You know what? Like there has to be a little bit of swerve there, but and Seth has put the boots to the metal. Like I gave him rest of the year, Greg, and so Royal Rumble win. And I guess, Greg, if there's ever time for dual winners, it's Cody and Seth. And if that's our out to do, um, Cody one night and Seth the other night, or Seth one. I mean, you might pull the trigger on that, especially if The Rock isn't going to, be able to do things.
I've
But
seen like a Tosca tournament attraction eliminations
yeah,
where they
I mean, I know
both
it
fall
just,
out the ring at
and
the
that's
same
what
time.
happens. It just kind of sucks. It just happened. Um, but this is this is Cody and Seth. It's a little bit bigger. This is for vying for WrestleMania, not Vengeance Day.
Right.
So or wasn't it Cena Batista? They had to restart the match type deal. Or
Yeah.
wasn't it Bulldog and Sean type deal? So you know, I mean, because I guess the question is, Greg. Well, I'll give you your winner, then we'll go backtrack for a second. Um, but who are you going with?
All right. I'm gonna put a final four of uh, Cody, Seth, Brock,
Lashley.
and mm, yeah, we'll say Lashley. There's enough,
To kind of
spider
take
web
each other
of
out. Yeah.
yeah between all four of those characters to make it juicy. And when all those, each of those guys are standing in the corner of the ring, we're all
Yeah.
sitting there wondering, okay, who's going to get it? Because we can see all four of them ready to, as a worthy opponent. You know what? I'm gonna pivot 1 second. I'm gonna take Lashley out and I'm putting Gunther in.
Okay.
There's the
Maybe
final
we
four,
could get the Brock Gunther match.
and we can have a giant. You know, this is the coming out party for Gunther. So Gunther, Brock, Seth, and Cody.
Because you could have Seth and Cody eliminate Gunther.
Right.
If you
After a huge,
elimination
final
of Brock.
four showing. Yeah, and maybe that's it. He gets Brock eliminated, and that sets him up for his big match with Brock.
Because why not do
And
Brock
then-
and Lashley next month and just
Right.
get that out of the way?
Huge,
we don't need a
huge-
WrestleMania match for them, right?
Yeah. So mega house fight right there. And then for the winner, just to be contrarian, even though I want to pick Seth, but you're picking Seth, so I'm going to say Cody.
Oh, you were going to pick Seth? I thought you were going to go Cody all the way. That's why I went Seth. Doesn't the Cody thing feel like way too in front of us?
Right. It seems too easy, which is why you don't want to pick it. So
I feel like if Cody was going to win, it would have to be the surprise factor. Like when Cena came back at 30 or, Triple H came back type deal. Like, you don't put all this out there for it.
right.
And then what do we think about the Sammy factor? Is there any shot he wins?
There's a chance, yeah. And then because it would be a Kofi Mania-esque, where this is the launch pad, and every time Sammy comes out, the place is going to go nuts, and that catapults him to a WrestleMania win.
Yeah.
So I would love to see it, and I think that it would be amazing to see them do that. Go ahead and pull the trigger on it. I don't think it's going to happen. That's why we're going chalk with our final four and who's going to win. But it would be so amazing to see Sammy get that win and know that he's going to be, that dude to face Roman at WrestleMania. I mean, talking about the bloodline story, that the level it's already at is beyond anything in wrestling right now. But that would take it another 10 levels into the stratosphere.
Do we think, so like I've said all along, if The Rock's going to show up, KO, Roman, main event. So what do you call, Greg? Is The Rock going to show up? And is KO, Roman going to main event because of that?
I think Rock does show up. I'm still sticking with it. They want to, cast doubt to make it look like that Rock's not going to make it. They put little, not spoilers, but little misdirections out there to make it look like, oh, he's going to be too busy. He's got this, that, and the other. But the writing's on the wall. In LA, and that's where Rock is. That's what he does, and how is he not going to be there? So I'm not buying it. I think it's Rock and Roman. At Sunday night WrestleMania main event. I think that's what's going to happen, and then maybe they split the titles, and KO goes for the first one on night one. But I don't know, you gotta find a big spot for KO.
I guess that
right here, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think. So what do we? Oh, did you call which one you think is going to main event, the men's Royal Rumble or the title match?
Interesting. Yeah, because I'm saying Cody's. Yeah, if Cody wins, it's going to have to be him and Roman on night 2, and then Rock and Roman on night 1.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, if Rock's going to be there, he's got to be the main event one of the nights. And
Yeah. No, I bet. Sorry, tomorrow night. What main events?
oh,
Like I said, I mean, I just can't imagine you have The Rock show up, second to the last match or first match of the night. I mean, it's got to be the main event if The Rock is showing up tomorrow night.
yeah, it would have to be as it's going off the air.
Yes, the old.
Right. And he's the last person you see before it goes to black. So,
So pretty much,
yeah,
if KO Roman don't main event, The Rock ain't coming. I mean, that's
right.
because there'd be no reason. And then if that's the case, I don't know if The Rock's doing Mania, right? I mean, I know we can push it to Elimination Chamber or even that SmackDown after, but I don't know. It just seems too juicy, Greg. You'd have to start it now.
I don't know if
Because you could have Roman dodge him too all that time.
You could, but like I said, that Roman and KO is going to have to go on before the men's Rumble. So to have Rock come out at that time would kind of spoil it for.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Rumble
I just can't imagine if The Rock is not coming tomorrow night. KO and Roman are fighting. Their second to last match, and then the Rumble will be last.
It's going to happen at the Chamber.
Yeah.
After Roman's match at the Chamber, then we get the Rock moment.
Yeah. If you can't do it tomorrow, maybe that's the thing too. Maybe they do want to push it out just because we are expecting it tomorrow night, and then
right, and that still gives it another 6 weeks of build up before WrestleMania.
So. All right. Well, I think that's all we got. Just want to make it short and sweet. We'll get back to AEW stuff on Sunday morning. Maybe talk some NXT and then recap the Rumble. I love the less is more approach that WWE's been doing, Greg, lately. So, give us 5 matches. Maybe you throw a Rumble pre-show match if you want to. But I'm really looking forward to it because, like we said, it's not necessarily wide open, but it's still, I think, open enough.
Yeah.
Like compared to other main Royal Rumbles. So, and then of course we'll do our Raw moments for our last call on Sunday too. So I've been jotting down some moments I had, and trying to narrow it down is always a fun list, Greg. I feel like I could just do 5 Stone Cold moments.
Right.
which is
we were reminded of quite a few during Raw 30. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, and that first,
about.
especially that 97 through 99, 2000. I mean, and then you even consider the invasion angle, Greg. That was a lot of Stone Cold stuff too. So, So, all right. Well, safe travels. You got to get home, right? You're not home now.
Yeah, I'm still a long location at CLT Airport. Yeah.
So, good luck. Safe travels getting home. We'll look forward to watching the Rumble tomorrow night, and then we'll come back and talk to you guys on Sunday and get everything caught up. So, thanks for joining the late night edition. I got my nap in a good 5 minutes before we went on air, but so I am feeling it, Greg. I had a long day myself. We're having a robotics event at school, not at our school. It's at another school tomorrow, but we're hosting it. So I didn't get home till about 7 tonight, 7:30. So
oh man,
you got to school at 7:45. So it was a nice long day at the office, as they say. So I'm ready to hit the hay and stay up tomorrow night to watch some wrestling. So.
There you go.
All right. Well, have a good one. We'll talk soon.
All right. Later, brother.